So I decided to make a computer case from Ikea's wooden Knagglig crate. What can go wrong, right? First I test fitted components, and it looks like I can fit a mini ITX motherboard here, but in only one way if I also want to install a graphics card. Before I started to build this monstrosity, I even thought that I would be able to fit an all-in-one liquid cooler system here, but now I see that there is not enough space, even for the smallest one with 120mm radiator. But my PCU is just perfect for this build. It is Corsair SF600, super small modular unit designed for compact systems. I decided to use wooden standoffs to lift a motherboard from surface. This lift is necessary to make ports on the back accessible, and usual metal standoffs that you can find basically in any computer case will not hold this board here, because the wood is too soft and they will just snap off. I also thought that I can fit the whole I/O shield here, but in that case I will need to cut most of the wooden plank and also a corner pillar that holds sides of the case together, which would take away all the case stability. So plan B was to cut just a small window. I made a rough cut in the studio and then I improved it off camera with the router in my friend's shop. And I think that result is pretty good. Yes, couple of USB ports are covered, but I still have plenty to use. Then I made a bunch of holes in those improvised wooden standoffs and in the crate itself to hold the motherboard in place. Then I took off the power supply's cover and used it as a guide to mark where the screw holes need to be. Then I drilled them with two drill bits, first with the thin one, then with the wider one, but for only about 2/3 of the depth, and I've used slightly longer screws to assemble it all together. Then I needed to make something that will hold the GPU. After a couple of test fits I decided to take off the GPU bracket and screw the card directly to the wood plank. I sacrificed most of the ports on the GPU and made a cut only for DVI-D, because if I made the cut wider there would be nothing left to attach the card to. But this is not a big problem, because I still can connect any monitor with just a simple DVI-D to HDMI adapter. And at this point you can see that the case looks like, well, like a prototype with a lot of duct tape. Well, you know, I just want to burn this thing. Yeah, with a mini flamethrower. Or you probably call this thing a gas burner, but mini flamethrower sounds more epic. Anyway, the fire gives a very interesting texture to the wood. It resembles working with a paintbrush, but result is delayed a little bit, so when I hover my hand over the piece of wood, it takes around half of a second to change color, and it is very easy to make a burn mark because of that. After burning I took this round cloth thing, I think it is a polishing attachment to the power drill, and slightly buffed the case, just to take some excess burn away. And after that I covered the whole thing with the mahogany varnish. Then I left it to dry for a couple of days, and after that it was time to put everything together. For components I choose an Asus Z370 Mini ITX motherboard, i5-8400 CPU with Noctua L965 cooler on top, also very quiet and compact solution. For GPU I decided to install GTX 1060, there are also 16 gigs of RAM and M.2 SSD for storage, which is not only fast but also helps to save some space, especially because it doesn't require any additional cables. For final touches I have added cloth legs, some LED lights, they are not RGB by the way and glows only with warm orangish color. And also acrylic side cover, which is held simply by 4 wooden pegs, no screws were needed there. And here is the final result. In my opinion it looks nice, very simple, organic and cozy. The only problem I have with this build is temperature inside. You can see that CPU cooler is partially covered by the GPU, so there is not a lot of fresh air there, and what is available is already heated by the GPU. So sometimes I saw more than 90 degrees Celsius on the CPU, which is quite high. There are a couple of solutions to this. For example, I could use an i3 instead of i5, or install more powerful cooler, or I could make a cut in the top of the case and maybe put a small exhaust fan there. So there is definitely a room for improvement. By the way, temperatures on the outside of the case are from 40 to 55 degrees, so no, it wouldn't suddenly catch flames. Overall, I am very happy with the result, and I hope that you found this video entertaining, and who knows, maybe some of you would make even better version of this. Anyway, that's all for today, see you on the next one. Have a nice day, bye!